back to my channel. For today's video, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys my eyebrow routine. On my first video, I asked you guys to comment what are the things that you would like me to do on my channel, and one of my lovely subscribers commented that they would like to see my eyebrow routine, and you ask and I deliver. So that's what we're doing today. So these are the items that you will need to achieve my eyebrow routine. The first item being an eyebrow pencil. The one that I like to use is the Anastasia Brow Wiz. The shades that I am in between is both soft brown and ash brown. Either shade works for me. A good dupe for the Anastasia Brow Wiz is the L'Oreal Brow Stylish Shape and Fill, and I am in the shade Dark Brunette. For the next product that I will be using, I'm going to go ahead and use the Anastasia Brow Powder. I will be using the shade Chocolate for today, but I also use the shade Ash Brown. Either one works for me. And for the brow powder, I'm going to go ahead and use an eyebrow brush. For today, I'm using the Tarte one, but it doesn't matter which eyebrow brush you use as long as the eyebrow brush is thin. This will allow you to have more detail, more control over the eyebrow product. And last but not least, I am also using an eyebrow gel to hold everything in place. And for the eyebrow gel, I am using the Urban Decay Brow Finish in Ozone. As you guys know, I mentioned this in my last video, which I am including this in a holiday giveaway. So make sure you go ahead and check it out. I will link up the video right here. So like I said, go ahead and check it out so you guys can find out how you can enter and win this product and many more amazing goodies. The link to the video will also be down below in the description bar. Now that I mentioned all the products that I use, let's go ahead and jump straight into this eyebrow routine. So before we get started, I do want to say that you do want to have a clean brow before you go ahead and put or deposit any color into them. I do say that because it makes it easier for you to frame out your brow and see how you're going to go ahead and fill in your brow. Okay, so to start off with my brows, I go ahead and grab a smaller compact mirror. The reason why I use a smaller mirror as opposed to a bigger mirror is because a smaller one is gonna be able to get closer to my face and I can go ahead and see the detail that is going on in my brow. You also want to go ahead and use a mirror that's at a further distance. And the reason why you want to go ahead and also look at a mirror that is further from your face is because a brow that is looked at completely up close is going to look completely different to someone that is 6 feet apart. So you do want to go ahead and look at both. I go ahead and look at my mirror right here, and I also look at the one that's on my vanity. That way I'm able to see my brow at a closer angle and also at a further distance. So now that I have my compact mirror, I'm going to go ahead and spoolie out my brows. So I'm going to brush out my brow hairs. Everyone brushes out their brow hairs differently, but the way that I do it is up and out. Ultimately, the way that you brush your eyebrow hairs is going to determine the end product. So now that I have my brows brushed out to the way that I desire them, I'm going to go ahead and use my Anastasia Brow Wiz in Ash Brown. And I'm going to go ahead and start filling only the under of my brow. Not up top yet, just the under brow. The reason as to why I like to fill my brow and also spoolie them at the same time is because it allows me to diffuse the product that I'm laying down, but it also allows me to distribute the product to the brow hairs. And as you see, the eyebrow is becoming more defined the more that I do my underbrow. So as you can go ahead and see, even though I did fill in my brow underneath, it is not overdrawn, it is not too dark, it matches my brow hairs perfectly. And you can also see that my arch is just more defined now. So now I'm going to go ahead and fill in any sparse areas that my brow may have. Okay, so now that my sparse areas are filled in and my underbrow is done, I'm going to go ahead and do the slightest amount of filling to the top of my brow. The reason as to why I do the top of my brow last and not first is because if I were to do it first, I wouldn't have a frame to my brow, and that would only lead me to overdoing my brow and it would be too dark. So if you're going for a more natural brow, that wouldn't be ideal. So now you can go ahead and see that my brow is now filled in. It has its nice arch, it is defined, any sparse areas are now gone. So now that I'm done using the Brow Wiz from Anastasia, I'm going to go ahead and pick up their brow powder, and I'm using the shade Chocolate. I use this shade in Ash Brown. Either shade works for me, so I'm going to go ahead and just pick up the dark color from the Chocolate brow powder. And I don't want to deposit any color onto my brow, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and wipe any excess off the brush, and I'm going to go ahead and set the brow very lightly. And that's all that I do with the brow powder. Like I said, I don't want to go ahead and deposit color. All I want to do is set the brow in place. I know a lot of people like to use translucent powder in order to set their brow, but what I noticed is that you end up having this like gel like residue on your brow. It just has like a white cast, and I personally don't like the look of that on my brows, so that's why I go ahead and just use a brow powder instead. But if that technique works for you, then by all means go ahead and do it. So now that my eyebrows are filled in, they're set, I'm gonna need something to hold them in place all day, and I'm gonna go ahead and use that by using the Urban Decay Brow Finish in Ozone. Like I mentioned, I don't like to have any gel like residue or any flakes because of the gel in my eyebrows, so this one doesn't do that, and it's also waterproof. Okay, so now just for the final step, I'm gonna go ahead and get this brow gel and just wipe off any residue, and very lightly I'm gonna go ahead and just brush my eyebrow hairs up. You're gonna repeat the same motion that you did initially when you were starting off your brow. That way you could just keep the same eyebrow shape and frame. And that is it for my eyebrow routine. As you can tell, my eyebrow has stayed the same shape. I didn't change it. I just kept it to my same framing. It is my natural brow, just more defined and cleaned up. Like I said, eyebrows are all up to preference and up to your face shape, however you want to go ahead and frame them. Just personally, like I mentioned, this is a natural eyebrow routine that works for me, but it is different for everybody else. So now I'm going to go ahead and do my other brow, and I'll be right back. And these are my eyebrows all done and complete. How do you guys like them? And this concludes my eyebrow routine. I hope you enjoyed getting to learn some of my brow tips and tricks. Let me know what kind of other routines you would like to see down in the comments below. And that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I will see you all in my next video. Besitos.